the #1 scooter driver in the nation, coming in at 6'2", 210 pounds. When the girls come calling, you know who they're wanting. Caleb Pressley.
My name is Caleb Pressley. I started working at Barstool in, my first paycheck was in, I think, August 2015.
Some people think I came here to play ball. No. I came here to race scooters.
Caleb's pushing. Caleb's got nothing. That's Caleb to an easy finish once again.
I have my own website, calebpressley.com. My inspiration was actually Mark Titus from Ohio State, and Club Trillion was his website, and I kind of have my own Club Trillion in my mind called calebpressley.com.
So, do you know any of the football players from the state? Do you know any of the basketball players? Do you know any of the professors?
Yeah.
I was in the content business before I even knew I was. I was just doing it for fun.
Who do you think's gonna win?
Us, obviously.
The University of London?
No.
I was a self-appointed supervisor of morale at the University of North Carolina for the football team, and we needed it that year because we were really bad.
It's Caleb Pressley. He's got an important role on the sidelines for North Carolina. He is the supervisor of morale.
Although Coach Fedora, if you see it, he only played me in 2 games. The last one, listen to this. We were up 80-20.
So what I decided to do is I decided to take a semester abroad, which is something I'd always wanted to do, but I really couldn't do with football. And so I went to Edinburgh, Scotland for 6 months. So when I came back from Scotland, I told my coach, I said, hey, I quit, dude. That's what I said. I was like, I quit, man. He's like, well, why don't you think about it and come back here in a week or so and let's talk about some other ideas.
Caleb Pressley is a former Tar Heel quarterback. He missed all of spring practice while studying abroad in Scotland. When he returned, the coaches offered him a position as an assistant coach. He now signals in the plays to the UNC quarterbacks. He is still a UNC student and works closely with both players and coaches in his new official role, supervisor of morale.
They said, do you want an office? I said, yeah. They said, well, what's your position going to be? I said, I'll supervise the morale.
How it works, the offensive coordinator's up in the booth. He calls the plays down to me on the headset. I get the play, and then I would signal it in the offense. It was a good role for me because I knew all the signals, I knew the offensive coordinator, I knew all the plays, I knew if someone lined up wrong.
It's kind of his way to contribute as a senior, and he's made the transition well. He keeps things funny in the office, he keeps team morale high, and has done a great job with the signal.
And then from then on, it was everywhere. It was ESPN, it was all sports outlets covered it, but I was a supervisor of morale.
I probably should preface this entire interview with an apology. I know that we're all football fans, we're all aware that there have been some falsehoods on some resumes and by coaches throughout the nation. A couple of people made some stuff up. I made the whole thing up. The supervisor of morale, I made it up.
Fast forward until we played Duke on a Thursday night, and ESPN had done some type of special about me during the game. Dave was watching that game. The next morning I woke up, I had a Twitter message from this guy, Facebook message from this guy, and I think an Instagram message from this guy. I talked to him and he asked me to come on the rundown. And so I went on the rundown.
We have a guest, Caleb Pressley. Now, this is who this guy is. I don't know how many people are watching North Carolina football games, but he is the director of morale, which I believe is the only one in the country. He runs around the sidelines, putting in the plays, probably doing a lot more. He's wearing a UNC NFL football player jersey.
I was used to doing the rundown every day. We didn't usually have guests on, and I thought he came on and was funny and held his own with Dave and Dan. Wasn't trying to force anything.
I'm supposed to graduate in May, which would be awesome, and I would really enjoy that. Contrary to popular belief, I have to do a lot of academic work to make that happen.
Do you have any idea what you're doing after?
I have no idea. People ask me that, and I always say, statistically speaking, I'll probably be unemployed. I'll have a communications major. I don't really know what that gets you in the real world. Maybe one of you guys will throw me a job. I'll get you coffee or something.
I thought he was very funny. I thought the no gas line was very funny.
We need a Barstool self. Can you write?
No gas. I can write now. I'm a good writer.
No gas.
No gas. No gas was something that I said without thinking, because it's something we said all the time at football. And I didn't think anything of it, but when I said it, I think KFC's, bro, his jaw went through his screen and into Big Cat's screen. People now say that was the moment I got my job. I don't know, but that's what people say.
I'm going to give you an A-. I don't give out A's, but you had tough subjects right in line. I'm actually going to check out the writing.
Classic Dave, like, what are you doing? Like, you could tell I piqued his interest, and he was like, wait, what's your deal?
I'm not. Well, you may have a job, believe it or not, when you graduate, and you could be the director of supervisor. Is it director or supervisor? Supervisor.
Supervisor, the directing sounds too hard because you have to like tell people what to do. Supervise, really, what is that? You just watch people.
At no point ever did I ever want to be a blogger, and I knew that. So I kind of thought in my head, I kind of just wrote it off. And he said, come to Boston. I have tickets, I'll fly you up, put you in a hotel, and I have tickets we'll go to the Bruins game.
Internally, we're all like, what the fuck? Like, Dave is not the person to just get random suites. He came in on Friday, like the night of, and was like, oh, like that kid Caleb Pressley's coming into town. Like, I was like, oh, he's like basically recruiting Caleb, like trying to show him a good time.
Like, dude, we're gonna go to the club after this game. You can't wear that. And I don't remember what I had on, but he's like, you can't wear that. And so I remember he took me to his house, and I borrowed one of his shirts. Then we went to this game, and we sat in a box at the Bruins game. And it was me, Dave, Hank, Gaz, Feidelberg, rear ads. It was like a recruiting trip. It really felt like I was being recruited again, like it was in high school. And I remember people telling me, dude, this is not normal. Dave is not normally like this. He's not a nice guy. And then the next day, I pitched Dave the Dixie Tour. Have you ever driven a bus before?
No.
What were your intentions when you signed up for this?
To see some great football in the South.
So you're telling me that you think that your experience on the football field is going to translate well to you being a bus driver for me?
I played football at the University of Notre Dame for 4 years.
Do you have any confidence in yourself?
Yeah. I mean, I've been producing a successful internet TV show for the past 2 years.
You know what the internet is? It's something that's separate from the television. How are you going to tell me you did an internet television show? So what's your experience with, filming, tours, this type of thing?
Я тебя вообще не понимаю. Я не знаю, кто ты.
I love that film.
Я не знаю, что ты спрашиваешь меня.
Let me stop you, man. Listen, this is more of a formality, this whole interview thing. I really like. I got to ask you, though. You're not a...
Да.
I was joking, bro. Just kidding.
All the stations up here, they don't sign off with Dixie the way they did in Sweet Home Alabama. And the people here don't sip Jack Daniel's whiskey the way they do in the Tennessee mountain land.
I said, listen, I don't want to blog, but what is big in the South is college football. If you'll put me in a bus, we'll tailgate every Saturday to the whole season. He said, that will be the content that grows Barstool. He said, yes. And I shook his hand. Hank wasn't the Hank of now. This was duct tape to a wall Hank. Yev was our camera guy. I'm looking for an applicant, a young applicant who might be able to travel with us. He was a 30-year-old Russian Jew who lied on his resume. Busboy Benny was one of my best friends from high school. He went on to play football at Notre Dame. I convinced him to not take his 5th year at Notre Dame and to come on tour, and so he was our bus driver.
Well, when the tour started, like I had grandiose ideas. Like I really wanted to turn into something, and I had my own ideas. Caleb had his own ideas, and it kind of came to a head. Basically, the first night, like before we took off, we were staying in Scituate. We had the bus at my house, and we were just like getting ready, shooting the intro video.
You know, we just got the group together too. We had just got the 4 guys together. Everyone's meeting each other, and then me and Hank are like yelling at each other. It was like in his kitchen in Situate. His parents were home, so we like weren't yelling, but we were like mad at each other.
We were like yelling at each other in my kitchen, but my parents were sleeping, so we were like whispering. It got very, very intense, and eventually we kind of like met in the middle.
That was kind of the thing. It was like, this is how we do stuff at Barstool. And I was like, well, this is how I do stuff, and this is how I want to do it.
If Dave is happy, like I'm happy just fucking going on the tour.
And the sorority thing was one of my first ideas that everyone was on board with. Everyone thought it was a good idea. And it was their bid day just to cover sorority bid day. And I think that was the Well, our first stop actually after Boston was at North Carolina A&T, which is an all-black school in Greensboro, North Carolina. And we stopped there, and that's where the bus got stuck, was at A&T.
Tell them to gun it. I'm pretty stressed. Like, this is probably one of the worst things that can happen. Day 7, it's not a good look. Let's come on up.
It just got stuck, and we were like, oh, this is bad. It was probably like day three of the trip.
I saw months flash before my eyes, opportunities, relationships.
We didn't know what we were doing. The driver had never driven an RV before. I was 22. Ben was 22. Hank was probably 21 or 20. Yev was like 30.
You think this is my first time sliding down a mud hill at Clemson? You're wrong, it is. It's my first time.
We ain't got nothing to worry about. We'll pass. Let security carry them out. Watch out for the medallion. My diamonds are necklace. Feels like a midget is hanging from my necklace.
Clemson was awesome. In Clemson, they were playing Notre Dame, so it was, Ben could have been on that Notre Dame team, and he probably would have been playing, but instead, he was driving the bus, and we got it stuck in some fraternity lawn in Clemson because of the inclement weather. Mike Williams was a receiver for Clemson. He was like on our bus right before the game. It was just a wild time. Clemson's right beside my house in Asheville, so we had also went by my high school. I was like getting some type of fake award.
Hey, Yev.
Hi.
How's your first high school football experience?
It's good.
You like it?
Yeah.
My little brother rode on the bus with us. I feel like he's like lived in Barstool lore maybe more than I have since I've been at Barstool. He's always like peeked his head in and like done something incredible and then just went right back out.
Our family motto in this family is power moves only. It doesn't matter. Power moves in football, power moves in driving, power moves in chess. We're doing power moves. That's it. All power moves.
Either created a legend or a monster, I don't know.
Big Cat came down right at the beginning, and he drove all the way down, and that was really my first time getting to meet Big Cat too. I mean, Big Cat's just like his own like force of nature. You start to get the story of the Dixie Tour through him for that week.
Oh, my exes live in Texas.
We went to a shower place, and we were trying to negotiate showers. That's all we had was alcohol. We're like, listen, can we please have showers? And then right when we had negotiated the shower, Big Cat rolls in, hungover, off the bus, the Kool-Aid man, yes.
Go get Big Cat, he's got to come in here.
How many players you guys got suspended for week 1? Like half a team?
I just feel like before this conversation happens, our showers are already in stone, right?
Yeah. Before I ruin it for everyone.
Okay, so we got 1, 2, this covers that covers that, and then the box covers everybody else. When you get done, clean my bathroom.
Smoking cigs. I woke up on the bus in the RV and went on Twitter and like clicked Big Cat's profile. Probably scrolled for like 10 minutes. And then in my head, I was like, wait a second. And I like poked my head out and he was fucking just dry. Like, I was like, have you been driving? He's like, yeah, like 8 hours. And I'm just like, you've tweeted like 35 times. Like, no joke. Like, was having like sports debates with people. Like, that was a little scary. Just smoking cigs. Cig Cat.
That's when we really started just getting obliterated drunk. Really big, that's where it began, was that weekend, which was the first weekend.
Florida State, beautiful weather, beautiful women.
We flew him in, and then we got him a limo. That's just first class service to our friends.
Florida State, I almost quit the company. There was a point where it was like I was trying to do my job, and it was just like I felt like I wasn't really like getting my voice out there. Like no one was hearing me. Like Dave didn't care, no one cared on the bus. Went to Florida State, and we were supposed to pick Feidelberg up from the airport at 10, and I was like telling Ben, I was like, you know, it was late at night, but I was like, dude, like we gotta wake up. He's like, yeah, I'll wake up. Caleb overruled me. He was like, no, like we're not going. Like put my foot down. Like Feidelberg landed, was like offended that no one came to pick him up. And then Dave was like hitting me up. You never cease to amaze me how much you fuck up. And I was just like, internally, I was like, what the fuck? Like I was trying to get these kids up. Like I can't drive this bus. And I was just like, fuck this. Like I was like, I think I'm gonna quit.
That was one of the initiatives, was to send people from Barstool down for like a week or something. And I think Hank probably told me like, dude, we should get Feidelberg. And I think I was probably like, dude, it's all gonna be okay. And it wasn't okay.
I like everyone a lot. I mean, they're all good hires. Benny's a riot. Caleb's driven. You're a little whatever, but I guess besides that, they're all good.
What do you want, yeah? What do you want with me? You go my whole life?
That was definitely the low point. I think on that Sunday, I lost my phone too, like the Saturday night. So it was like Sunday scaries. I had no phone. And like my last sober correspondence with Dave was him being like you're like fuck you, like you're a bum. So that was tough.
I'm a type of motherfucker that'll check a check, do the math, I ain't never getting right. Those margaritas
all the videos were always like, let's make this look as cool as possible. Let's make it look like as many hot girls. Let's show like the coolest parts of campus, the best restaurants. And we shot with that in mind at Mississippi State, and it was literally impossible to make it look cool. We had to make it a parody video. And that was the one like funny or parody video we did the entire season.
What do y'all?
1 kill.
You gotta get it, right?
1 meal.
Yeah, I can ride them up there.
It's Dixie Tour.
We were in Auburn for Thanksgiving. We got taken out by somebody who showed us how to, we went deer hunting. We literally went deer hunting.
We dressed up like pilgrims and Indians and just had Thanksgiving in a trailer park, basically. It was actually the Caleb's poem video. That was that day. That was fun.
Welcome to Thanksgiving upon the Dixie bus. We're celebrating with family, is celebrating with us. We come to you from Auburn, where there are deer, hogs, and hens. Home of Charles Barkley and Cam Newton after he went to Florida and then JUCO at Blinn. I'm thankful for Ben, who is nice and never mean. I hope you never receive the HIV like Charlie Sheen. I'm thankful to our social media mastermind, Hank, who masters every new tech. Barstool Dixie just hit 40,000 on the Instagram. Get this man a blue check. It's almost time to eat now. I must admit, I'm rushing through. But I refuse to forget Yev, my favorite Russian Jew.
What we would do is we would put the bus in fraternity parties. So it's awesome. It's a great visual for the video. People are partying outside the bus. We can get people on the bus. But Dave was on there and he couldn't go out because he was too famous. And so he was just in there, and I think he just had like a case of beers. And like a couple people were in there with him, and I think he just started going through them.
It was like kind of joking, but I was like, so like, have you noticed anything? I was like, the credit card? He's like, no. Been fine.
In the middle of it, like October, right when we started to hit our stride, yeah, the Mets were playing the Cubs in the NLCS. And so Dave called us up, brought us out of the South, and we had to drive the bus up from Chicago to New York, back to Chicago.
Big cat. I'm in fear for my life.
It's windy as fuck.
Are you texting? Are you tweeting?
No, I'm actually not. I haven't been much. It's very windy. Much, I said much. I said much.
If I had to sum up the Dixie Tour in one word, it would be drunk. The Dixie Tour was, one, successful. From a business standpoint, I don't know if we made money or lost money the actual months we were on the road, but I know that a lot of people in the South were introduced to Barstool Sports through the lens of Barstool Dixie.
Dixie Tour was an amazing experience. Like, if we didn't like each other, it wouldn't have worked. Putting 4 dudes and having lived in a 30-foot bus for 4 months, like, it seems kind of crazy. But like, we were all very close, and we all had a lot of fun.
Me and Hank, brothers. Me and Ben already were brothers, but brothers. Me and Yev, you know, you're brothers. I mean, you can't go through something that intense for that long and not come out of it super close. We saw and went through a crazy life experience that we'll never forget, even though I have forgot most of it. And no one will ever be able to take that from us. Hank, Busboy Benny, and I were told there was a very strong likelihood that Barstool was going to be sold and that everything was going to change.